I'm Alan Lang, Director of Sales and Marketing with Scout Boats. I'm standing on our brand new 425 LXF S-Class. S-Class is our highest standard of boats. It stands for double-stepped hull, and it also has an epoxy-infused hull. This particular model has an entire carbon fiber hull on top of that as well. Starting up here in the bow, I've got an anchor locker that has a freshwater washdown hose. It's got a safety chain, a cleat, and also a Lumar wrench to tighten up that windlass. Got foot pedals up here. I've also got a panel back there on the dash where I control the windlass, and a panel up top. So I control it through my screens, up top, and also up here. You see we've got JL audio speakers standard, nice wraparound seating up here, forward bow rod holders on this model. And then a new option is pop-up ambient lighting on both the port and starboard sides. Got a grab rail that goes all the way around for safety. I've got storage on the port and starboard side underneath these seats. So up in the bow, we've got a table that raises up from the floor right here to the center to where you can set your cushions out and make a great berth. So underneath the table here, you'll see we have a large storage area. I'm also able to sit here at the table and still access the coolers on either side without having to get up. Moving back, we've got cup holders on either side. Here on our console lounge, I've got a large storage area. Also accommodates an Armstrong ladder. So we've upgraded this console lounge pad as well. We've added contour to it. I can sit up here and it kind of helps keep me locked in. I've got an armrest on both sides with two cup holders here in the middle and plenty of leg room and a nice rake where I can lean back and really get comfortable. You got storage on the starboard and port sides with cell phone chargers, and these drain as well just in case any water were to get into them. But it's a great place to put little things like wallets, keys, cell phones, flip-flops, that sort of thing. And directly across from the lounge, I've got a padded area here where I could set things like flip-flops or t-shirts, whatever, and it helps grip it and keeps it from getting blown out of the boat. Calming bolsters that run all the way around the entire boat. If I have to lean over and get anything out of the water, pull a fender up, a fish, or whatever it may be, I've got a really good padded area to keep me comfortable. What we've done on this model is we've brought the windshield all the way to the top to eliminate any water coming through if it were to get, rain coming down or get caught in a storm or, for heavy seas. You'll also notice that there's a flex light that goes all the way around that I can turn on, and it adds a real nice ambient lighting to the boat. And moving back towards the console, we've got a locker here, and this is lockable. It's great for cleaning brush, a gaff, a line hook, whatever you might want to put in there. Here at the helm, we've got a lot going on. One, you'll see our new icon, and this lights up red anytime there's power to the boat. I have 3 screens, this model here. So everything is digital switching. I can operate the boat completely by these screens. Different things I can do, navigation, digital switching. So I don't have plastic switches all over the helm area. We've really cleaned it up. Everything works through this, but I do have redundancy. Up here up top, I have switches that are kind of out of my line of sight. And these are switches that I would use in a safety situation. If anything were to happen to these screens, we have a system that's very similar to your breaker system in your home. Everything's labeled. There's a fuse box in there. We can move those fuses into another position and basically run a straight current to anything on the boat that you want to run. Another thing you'll see that we've added standard to this model is our bow eye camera. And this allows me to see my anchor. So if I want to deploy my anchor by myself, I can deploy it and keep an eye on the rake of the line. I can also pull up or inch up to a dock and not worry about bumping into it. If I'm at a sandbar and there's people swimming, I can make sure they're clear before I go to pull away. I've also got AC vents up here. On a hot day, I can stay cool. On this particular boat, we've got a Mercury vessel view gauge. I've got zip wakes, which are just like trim tabs, except for their blades that come down off the back of the boat. They're very responsive, and I could turn the boat or lean the boat to port or starboard just by turning this dial here, and I could push my bow down and pull my bow up by running this dial. It also has the option to click an auto button, and it'll help me deploy those zip wakes when I'm taking off on plane, and it'll also help me keep the boat balanced. Got 2 cup holders on the port side, 2 cup holders on the starboard side. This one's got a go light with a remote control, so spotlight up, and I can control where it's pointing from here. And then I've got a side power thruster here, as well as the Mercury joystick with skyhook. So double action helm here, controls, Edson wheel with a rubber finger grip on the back side, and I'm also able to tilt glove box here, which is great for keys, wallets, sunglasses, whatever you may want to keep in there. Nice large foot pad here, and I can sit several different ways. If I want to sit really high, I can fold the bolsters up and sit on top of them and get lots of visibility. I can also stand and lean against them, or I can fold this down and sit on them, and it's very comfortable. And again, I can tilt this wheel. If I'm a larger guy, then I can tilt it back a little bit, or a smaller person, I can tilt it down and get a little closer to me. And all these operate independently of each other. If you're on the outside, you've got armrests that lay down here. So I can be sitting while my passengers are standing, or vice versa. I also have a fold down little stand from a shorter person. Gives me a little bit more visibility to stand up and see in front of the boat. Moving to the second row, and this is all changed from our 420 with this new 425 LXF. I can now walk completely through here, and I have the option of a couple different things. This one has a glove box in the center with seats, or I can run a bench seat all the way across that will allow 3 people to sit back here, and then our ladder here would go away, and what we would use to get up to the hardtop is a little step that's going to be built into the back of this center seat. So right now it has the 50-50 seating. You can fold that down or stand at it like a bolster, and I've got a footrest right here and an armrest that folds down on the side. So I'm locked in really good. If I get into heavy seas, I hang onto the back of the seat, lock myself in with the armrest here, and tons of storage all the way across. On the port side, I've got access to my battery switches. Now the boat will come with a remote. When you walk to the boat, you'll be able to press the remote, and it'll power everything on solenoids for you, so you don't have to come down here and turn these on. When it's time to get off the boat, I can hit the button again. You'll hear a couple of beeps and everything will power off. So very convenient. On the starboard side, it's the breaker panel we talked about. You can see everything is very nicely labeled. And again, if I want to run constant power to whatever item that is, I just move that fuse up a position. The other thing you're going to notice is we have composite rear aft legs on this hardtop now. So it sort of looks like our 53, our flagship. We've got the ladder here that can take me up top. You get the optional upper station. You don't have to climb on the outside of the boat, so we did that for safety and aesthetics. This adds sort of a jewel piece to the boat. And then there's a hatch I can push open here. It's on the gas shop. I can easily get up top, do any kind of cleaning I need to do, any kind of maintenance. The other thing you'll notice is we have lights all inside the hardtop, map lights, courtesy lights, and then I've got speakers mounted in here as well. So another thing you'll notice on this boat, we have optional retractable rocket launchers. With the press of a button, I can drop these rocket launchers down, and you can see in the down position, The rods will still stay in there, and I'm standing at about 5'10", makes it extremely easy to get these rods in and out. So when you're offshore, you don't have to climb up with one hand and worry about dropping rods on the deck or overboard. The other thing is when we deploy the Sure Shade, these will automatically come down. So in a lot of other competitive boats, you have to remove those or remember to remove them before you deploy that Sure Shade, or you could end up with a lot of damage to your rods or to the Sure Shade itself. Backside of this leaning post, we've got a lot going on here. We've got handrails if you're standing back here running offshore, really good to hold on to. At the bar area of the summer kitchen here, got a removable panel with freshwater sink. Also got a grill. It's an electric grill, so smokeless. Got fresh water on the port side and raw water on the starboard side. This comes out on hose reels. Hot water shower on deck here, 12-volt plug. We've got the Kenyon grill control, tackle storage on either side. And I've got bar stools, so I can sit here, hang out while we're grilling, have a bite to eat. I can sit back here and face this direction and watch my trolling rods or people swimming and hanging at the sandbar. And another really cool, unique feature, we've built our own cooler that slides out with a push of a button. Very large. It's got a plug in there that drains all the water, insulated. The other thing it allows me to do, a couple people can sit back here and face aft as well. On either side of the boat, port and starboard, I've got large fish boxes. They're on a gas shock. Fish box goes back up there towards the bow of the boat. So there's lots of space, and they're really deep. So down here in the bilge, I've got access to my sea strainer. I've also got our 8 kW Fisher Panda generator. You are able to upgrade if you want to add additional options to the boat that may require that. You can upgrade to the 12 kW. On the port side back here in the cockpit, we've got an optional beach platform. Normally it would come standard with a dive door. Press a button here. I can lower the beach platform. It has a ladder that pops out of the side and also a grab handle to help you when you're coming back up out of the water. This allows me to step out with a couple of people out here. So it's very sturdy and it's watertight when you bring it back up. Again, the fresh water's on the port side, and then the optional hot water, which allows me to pull that hose out here and shower off without getting everybody else wet in the butt. And then this gunnel piece that folds over, I've got 5 cup holders. So if we're all going out for a swim, we can all set our drinks in there. This shuts. I've got a latch here, locks into place to keep that from vibrating or moving around. And then moving back to the stern, I've got a pull out stern seat, very sturdy, folds up and out of the way where I can still fish up against the back bolster. Got 50-50 bait wells. And one thing you'll see different on these now is we've incorporated the carbon fiber to show you the carbon epoxy construction that we use in the entire hull of this boat. Another upgrade we've done is dual transom doors. And a walkable swim platform. So no more deep, slippery splash wells. I can walk across easily across the back of the boat. I can dock port to, starboard to, and not have to trip over the rigging. I can step back here to help get a fish on board. And it also just makes it usable space. I'm hanging out, sitting here, leaning back. I can hang out with people that are at the sandbar or wherever we may be. 50 amp shore power cord, reset and breaker. The shore power cord comes out of the system. Optional Glendenning system to reel it in. So we have the Fender Pros standard on this boat, complete with the Scout logo. It'll come standard with 4, but you can add as many as you'd like. If you have a situation where you're docking with pylons, you can mount one a couple feet away, turn the fender sideways, line it off to protect you from the pylon. We also have tons of rod holders mounted in the gunnels and the transom of the boat, but you're welcome to add as many as you'd like, or the new rod cup holders. I've got a reverso engine flush system, so I can plug once here, press the button one time, and it'll flush each engine for 7 minutes, or I can press it twice and flush each one for 15 minutes. So it makes it very convenient to where you don't have to connect your fresh water to each engine to flush them. So this particular 425 LXF is outfitted with quad Mercury 400s. It pushes the boat around 71 miles an hour. So amazing package. Also has joystick. The engines operate independently of each other. You're able to spin the boat, move the boat back and forth, turn the boat, or move the boat sideways. So incredible feature there. Also sky hook to lock it in place. So down here in the cabin of the new 425 LXF, we've totally redesigned it. We've updated the materials to give it a much more modern look. We've also got on the port and starboard side sliding windows, so you can get fresh air and breeze in here. And it also adds a good bit of natural light, makes it feel a little more spacious. On the starboard side, you'll see there's a huge window. The vinyls we're using down here, we've got a nice white ultra leather, ultra soft vinyl. We've got white speckled corian. We've got cabinetry all throughout with storage behind it. We've got a slide out refrigerator, microwave, stove top, stereo control, 12-volt outlets. We've got a TV that's behind a mirror. When you turn the TV on, mirror goes away. We've got a center section that pulls out and fits between the port and starboard couches, and it makes for a huge berth, up to almost 7.5, 8 foot long. And as you can see, we've moved the engine keys down here into the cabin, again, to help clean up that dash area and keep little things that are not necessary out of the way. Moving back into the head, we've got a pocket door that slides across and locks. And on the port side, we've got a vessel sink, storage, vanity mirror, light controls, countertop, porcelain head with electric flush. And you also notice that we have very nice tile down here that simulates what you'd see in a modern home. Moving to the starboard side, we've got a separate shower. It's got a foldable acrylic door. We've got about 6'3" headroom in the shower. And we've got a shelf, good place to put soap, shampoo, other items. And then you've also got access to the back side of your console. You'll also notice the floors are a gray synthetic hardwood. Again, we want to simulate what you see in a fine home, not just on a boat. So I've got switching down here to control the lights. We can do different colors for ambient lighting. Check out the new 425 LXF and the rest of the Scout Boats lineup today at scoutboats.com.